Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Mike Killian of the Navigator Advanced Prophetic Ministry out of Charlotte, North Carolina. And I was wanting to bring a prophetic word to you that I got just recently. I'm going to put some more light on here. It's been a while since I've been on YouTube. I'm not really happy with the picture quality. Maybe that's why I didn't. Um, Maybe that's why I didn't continue with YouTube. But I'm using this as a test to see if I should get back into YouTube, um, get back into the YouTube venue, uh, because so many people are on YouTube, and I think I might be missing out on part of the market. So, what I would like to bring to you today is a prophetic word that I got about 2 years ago. It has something to do with what we're going through right now, since there's so much um, uh, confusion right now. Uh, People do not know who to trust anymore, and therefore people are dropping out. They're getting discouraged and all that, and I can understand that because when I don't get if when I try to go to my sources to get real um, information about what is happening, I get frustrated when I don't get the proper news. Um, there is a ministry in the Bible called the Watchmen. You have watchmen that are in the streets. They're like the guys that they walk the streets, and they're also called lamplighters. And they, you know, they have a timer, and when they say it's 11 o'clock and all is well, or it's 2 o'clock in the morning and all is well, those are watchmen. I am one of those. Then you also have the watchmen on the walls. They look out, and see what's coming, and then they relate that to uh, the watchmen in the streets. Then you have your watchmen in the hills, where they can see out further, and then they will communicate to the watchmen on the walls in the city that something is happening, and so you have your three levels of watchmen. I'm not one of those watchmen that is in the mountains. I'm one of those watchmen on the walls and watchmen in the streets. I am for the church. I do not make the news. I'm not anywhere near the making of the news. I just report the news from my sources. And when I do not get the right sources, well, don't get reliable information from my sources, I get frustrated. And I get depressed, and I get like I want to just give up and go back golfing or something like that. And so today there's so much confusion, but there's a message behind it. There's a reason for the confusion. See, when people are confused, they won't make a move. God does not want us making a move right now. He wants us holed up like Noah in the ark. Having done all that you know to do, then stand, rest, and be calm about it. Okay? Maybe this will give me better picture quality like this. Okay. So I received a prophetic word, actually a dream, about 3 or 4 years ago that I think has to do with today, and that is, can you hit God's knuckleball? God said to me, Mike, can you catch my knuckleball? Can you hit my knuckleball? Now, those of you that like baseball, you know that there's a knuckleball pitcher out there. I mean, there has been in several times. There's not a whole lot of them because it's a difficult pitch to throw. It's a difficult pitch to catch, and it's a difficult pitch to hit. And I was a catcher in baseball, and I had the occasion to catch two knuckleballers. And a lot of times, knuckleballers have a big catcher's mitt, and a lot of times they have some black and blue marks on their legs too. Now, the spiritual message in the knuckleball is this. This has to do with God sending us his messages, his prophetic messages, his truth, serving up truth to us, is likened unto a person that starts playing baseball when they're young. Connecting with that ball is connecting with the truth. Okay, this whole idea of the baseball player is an allegory, a symbolic message. You and I are Christians. The Holy Spirit teaches us, and he wants to connect with us. He wants us to connect with him. So when you hit that ball, it's like connecting with him. So when you're young, you start off with T-ball, where the ball is the truth. And it's sitting up there on the tee. And it's just stationary right there. And the young baseball player comes and he learns how to hit the ball with the bat. And then after, that's pee-wee baseball, I guess. That's the first time that you're introduced. Back in my day, we didn't play T-ball. We started off with softball, where they lobbed the ball to you and then you hit it. When you're young in the Lord, you need straight truth. You need clear truth. You don't need cryptic truth. You don't need mystic truth. You don't need allegories. You want to know that 2 and 2 is 4 all the time, and that is represented by the T-ball. Okay? Now, when you grow up, they start, I started off in softball, so they're taking the ball, and it's a bigger ball, and it is lobbed towards you. And you've heard people say, like in the media, when they're doing interviews, they're saying, well, this particular interviewer served up softballs to the person he was interviewing, meaning easy questions. The softball represents easy questions, easy truth to comprehend. Like in the beginning, when you're young, you want easy truth to comprehend. Well, then you go on to Little League and they start throwing overhand baseballs to you. But they don't know how to throw a curveball yet. So they're just throwing straight balls at you. Well, that's straight truth. Okay? You have softball questions, you have softball truth, you have straight truth, which is not much to it. That ball's coming in right there, and you can see it and you can hit it easy. Then as you grow up and mature, the pitcher starts to throw curveballs. And you've heard the expression, well, I didn't expect that question. You threw me a curveball. Well, in other words, it's not logical. You threw me something that was illogical. You threw me a curveball on that one. Okay? The next one is the knuckleball. This is what God is throwing to us today. He's throwing knuckleballs at us. Okay? I'm going to try something else here for the light issue. See if that does any good. See, it appears rather smoky in my laptop, but not smoky on my TV over there. So that seems all right. So God said, can you hit my knuckleball? Because I'm throwing knuckleballs in this season. What is that? That's truth that isn't necessarily easy to comprehend. It's like parables. It's like when Jesus spoke in parables. It's something to figure out. It's something that you have to go after. For instance, the book of Revelation is a knuckleball. Why? Because it's all, when you start with in chapter 5 and 6 with the seals, the trumpets, the vials, and the woes, that's all parabolic. That's all symbolic. That is all knuckleballs. You have to figure it out. You have to dig. It is not a softball. It is not a straight ball. It is harder to figure out. And that's what God is doing today. Why? Because he wants people to dig. He wants people to dig for the truth. He wants to show that he wants us to show him that we are serious enough to take the time out to really dig and see what he has in store. Because he'll feed you little tidbits of truth here and there, but then he's going to leave you something to think about, and he's going to leave you something to dig over and mull over and ask him for the interpretation. So that is what God is doing today. He's throwing knuckleballs. Can you hit God's knuckleball? Are you willing to make the commitment to get into the word and to get into prayer and ask the Lord for what he's doing? Ask the Lord for an explanation of what he's doing, and he will get it to you. I can remember just recently being very frustrated over the fact that YouTube and Facebook shadow bans and bans people like Donald Trump off, and what off, they don't let them post recent things on their sites. And they say it's because your content is wrong. Okay, you're not meeting community standards. So what do? They don't ban you. They just run your old stuff. If you look and see, I used to get people on there that are gone, SGT report and the X22 report. And when they started to ban them, if you look at the date on the posting, it's 6 months ago, or it's a year ago, or it's 6 years ago. It's not the current stuff. So we have to dig. We have to watch for the timestamps to see if we're getting fresh stuff. Well, that's when the Lord showed me that God was going to raise up new social media. And he did, with Gab and Rumble and Getter and Trump News Network and some of the other ones, Patreon, did I say Rumble? And there's going to be new ones coming out. God showed me way before when all we had was YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. He showed me that if they're gonna shadow ban you and censor you, God's gonna come up with some brand new social media, and he did. So now we've got all kinds of. So then what happened? I asked the Lord, I can't be cut off from your messengers like this. I've got to know what you're doing. So connect me, show me where to find your messengers on social media. And he did. He showed me where to find them. So this is what my message is for you today. Can you hit God's knuckleball? Are you willing to dig for the meanings behind? Because there's a strong delusion out there, and there's a lot of propaganda out there, and you cannot listen to TV anymore. And Facebook has basically become worthless. You can't do that anymore. So my message to you is, Learn to hit God's knuckleball. Put in an effort. Put in an effort. Study and pray over it. In Jesus' name. This is Mike Killian of the Navigator Advanced Prophetic Ministry out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and let's get this ball rolling. This is my first YouTube video in years, but I think I got to get back on. So thank you very much. Bye-bye.